All those countries that drive on the wrong side of the road, well, they've had this car for a while, but now, finally, it's our turn. This is the Tesla Model Y Performance. Yes, they're now in New Zealand at last. Okay, price and range. Well, are you sitting down? Because this costs quite a bit more than the standard Tesla Model Y, $108,000. However, you do get more range per charge than the standard Model Y as well. This will do 514 Ks per charge. All very impressive. But styling-wise, aren't they just exactly the same car? Well, yes and no. Aside from the 21-inch wheels, this dual-motor version does basically look the same as the standard Model Y available in New Zealand with just one electric motor, but the Performance Model Y does have extras I'll get to in a sec. Now, I've already reviewed the regular Model Y, and I'll put a link to that entertaining video under this one. In that review, I ran you through all the features and the room of this big American car, showing off its ample storage space, its impressive PSC of 69, its fartment or front compartment, and its 3 metric gallons of legroom. I also showed off its decent headroom and of course its cavernous boot space. Seriously, the Model Y doesn't just have a lot of boot space for a family crossover / SUV, it has a lot of boot space for any vehicle, as with its seats down, it's only 11 litres shy of the boot space in the monstrous Toyota Land Cruiser 300. The Tesla, however, well, it has enough boot space for a mattress, as I demonstrated when I took it camping using the car's camping mode, which you could say was a successful disaster, so yeah, check out that video for more stats, figures and giggles. But in this video, which I am actually trying to make short and sweet, I'm just going to focus on what makes the Performance Model Y different, and on that note, let's get it moving. Now, I'm no Teslaologist, but at first glance and first feel, this seems exactly the same as the regular Tesla Model Y, and that's because it kinda is, dimensions-wise at least, it's exactly the same car. It's just as big, you've got just as much legroom, just as much headroom, just as much storage space. It's a monstrous car, it's big, and that's good because so is the price tag. But despite that size, it still doesn't have a 7-seat option in New Zealand. That's unfortunate. So what do you get for your $108,000? Well, first of all, you get more range in this than you would in the standard Model Y. This does 514 Ks per charge. The standard Model Y does 455. That's a 13% increase. What else do you get? Well, you get acceleration. Obviously, the standard Tesla Model Y does 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds. It's quite respectable. This one, however, well, it's an 86% increase. It's now 3.7 seconds. To take this large family car up to 100 Ks an hour, 3.7 seconds is supercar territory. Really, it is. It's supercar territory. In a family car. But I still don't know what it feels like because this is Auckland City, and where in this area can I possibly do 0 to 100? Keep watching, I will get a chance to experience that very soon, because as of right now I still haven't put my foot down. It just feels like a regular Tesla Model Y to me. Of course, that extra range and that extra performance comes at a fairly hefty cost. The standard Tesla Model Y, after the clean car rebate, is 67 grand, which is quite good value actually, considering what you get. This one, as you know, is 108 grand, which means it's priced above the clean car threshold, so you don't get that $8,625 back that you would if it was under 80,000. So yeah, you're paying full price in this car. But what else do you get for your money? Well, you get bigger wheels as well. As standard, you get the 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, which are kind of propeller shaped. The regular Tesla Model Y comes with 19-inch wheels, so that's already an upgrade. The next thing you get are aluminium pedals, as you can see under my feet, but in a way, they're kind of like me. They don't actually do anything, they just look different. But wait, there's more! You also get a carbon fiber spoiler on the back. My only question is, with any spoiler on a street car, does it actually do anything? I don't know. Any Teslaologists out there able to confirm whether or not it's just a gimmick? To go with all that extra performance, you also get uprated brakes, and I'd love to test them out right now, but looking at the size of the calipers and the size of the tyres, I imagine if I did, I'd end up with some pretty intense seatbelt rash. Suffice to say, I expect them to work very well. One thing I'm not sure I like, however, is the Performance Model Y has slightly lowered suspension. And there didn't seem like there was a lot of room on the regular Model Y to lower it, so I expect the suspension is probably a little rougher than the standard Model Y, which is already quite firm. On a smooth road like this, it feels fine, but let's get it into some less than ideal roads shortly, we'll give it a go.
So I did, hitting the motorway in order to escape the city so that I could put this performance car into its native environment. But in the meantime, I want to mention another difference between this car and the standard Model Y.
Let's talk weight. And the standard Model Y, we already know the specs about that one. It weighs in, according to Tesla's website, at 1,909 kilograms. This one, however, with its extra range because of its bigger battery and its extra motor, it only adds an extra 88 kilos. Somehow, the total weight of this performance model, according to Tesla's website, is the same year Aqua's Barbie Girl became famous, 1997. How have they managed to get an extra motor and an extra battery capacity to get that extra range for just 88 kilograms? I don't know. And the thing is, Tesla don't release any official battery capacity stats, so we may never know. What I can tell you, however, is that the shipments are arriving. Yes, the ships delivering Tesla Model Y performance cars are here and they're coming. So it means that owners like this car, which is privately owned by the way, they are very happy indeed. And I want to also thank Greg who owns this car. You rock, you're awesome. Thank you for letting me review your baby. I will take care of it. All right, now let's get out of the city and see how this thing handles the highways. First of all, let's turn on autopilot, which I love this thing. Now this car doesn't have autopilot advanced or the full self-driving capability package. It just has standard autopilot, but even so, out of all the cars I've reviewed, autopilot in even the standard Tesla cars is still the top. There's only one vehicle I've reviewed which in my opinion has self-driving, lane keeping, adaptive cruise, whatever you want to call it, hardware and software as good as Tesla, maybe even just a little better, and that is the BMW iX M60. That was such an impressive machine, it felt like there's an actual human behind the wheel. Let's see if this is as good as I remember it. This autopilot software is excellent. A lot of other systems, they'll see an off-ramp and they'll get confused by the painted white lines and do a little whoa as if it wants to take the off-ramp. This never makes that mistake. Ah, there's a Tesla Model Y. You don't have the performance version. So far, we're at 15.8 kilowatt hours or units of electricity per 100k. And that's very good for a car that's this big and heavy. And Teslas have always been very aerodynamic cars, very sleek cars with very low drag coefficients. That's how they've managed to get always such decent and impressive ranges out of battery packs that aren't actually massive compared to other bigger electric cars. Right now though, I am heading south to my top secret driving road, in which I will test the 50 to 10 regen strength. I'll also look at the 0 to 100 time, quite looking forward to that. And then of course, we'll go into my top secret driving road and see just how well this vehicle handles. Okay, now let's do the 50 to 10 test to see how long it takes. This is a good test to see how strong the regenerative braking is, how good the one pedal driving is. Let's get to 50 if I can get right on the mark, and then 50, go. Oh, that's strong regen. Oh, and it comes to a complete stop as well. Now that we're stopped, I guess we should do the 0 to 100 time. The road is completely empty. Let's put it into sport acceleration. Let's put it into sport handling. All right, are you ready? Let's get everything prepared. This is exciting. Okay, the first time. Is it going to be a surge or is it going to be neck snapping? I don't know. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. Holy cow! Oh, bloody hell! Far out. I wasn't ready for that. That's the most I've put my foot down ever since I picked the car up this morning. Crikey. Oh, okay, I have to do that again. Whew, there's too much going on. Okay, so it's kind of like, it's not a neck snap, it's a surge and then it picks right up. Okay. Go. Oh, yes! Oh, I want one of these things. It's just such a shame that it's so greasy and rainy, because I'd love to do a braking test, 100 to 0, with those big tires and those big brakes. And of course, I'd love to really put it hard into those corners, but I don't want to bend this car because it's worth about 17 in me. So I'm just going to concentrate on how it handles if that suspension's too firm, because I'm kind of familiar with the secret driving road now, so I know what to expect. Let's see how this handles it. First thing I'm noticing is that the suspension, yes, it is quite firm. Oh wow, there's no body roll though, and considering the size of the tires, and the size of the wheels, there's a lot of rubber in contact with the road, and that means that every little movement is translated into a change of direction. There's no waftiness where, you know, some older cars with thinner tires, you can move the steering wheel like that and the car doesn't really move much. This, good Lord, that is tight. Crikey. Still unsold on the suspension though. I'm not sure if I like it yet. It's a twitchy thing, isn't it? Those tires just mean that, wow, you got to know what you're doing. Oh, this is one of those vehicles I can already tell that it is not going to be forgiving. If you go beyond the ragged edge, there's no safety buffer, you're in the ditch. Okay, so the road's a little greasy here, so I'll just concentrate on the suspension. It really works in its favor, the suspension, when you're in the corners. Because that makes sense. Obviously, firm suspension, it handles better. Ooh, look at that, no body roll. Ooh, it is a twitchy wee thing, so I'd recommend if you're looking at buying a Model Y Performance, know where the limits of the car are, so you don't go beyond that and end up with your car in the ditch. Oh, the road's dry here. Oh yeah. One thing I wish this vehicle had was a speed limiter, because it's so easy to get over 100. Okay, here's a 45 corner. Now I did this in the Enyaq last week, and oh, this handles much better than the Enyaq in the corners, definitely. Definitely. The Enyaq has its limitations because it's so darn comfortable on the highways. Tell you what, for cornering though, oh, it's worth it. It's worth having a hard suspension just so that you can enjoy this cornering. Oh, look at this, go right around the corner. Effortless. Oh, watch this one. Oh wow, this is like a slot car. Look at that. This is insane. Oh, this is too much. This is everything, man. It's tight, it's got all the power, you've got that all-wheel drive system. Oh, the tires haven't slipped once. That's how chonky they are. It's just effortless. Effortless cornering beast. Look at this. Oh, this is insane. Look at this. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, I envy you, Greg, the owner of the car. He gets to drive this every single day. Oh, wow. Tell you what, people critique Tesla for not being a real car maker because, you know, they're basically a software company that makes cars, but put all that criticism on hold until you drive this thing, because they've done something special with this. Yes, the suspension is firm in the city streets. No, you can't adjust it. But once you're in the corners, all is forgiven. Because, good Lord, look at this. Even on a greasy road, I'm not going hell for leather, but even on a greasy road, it's still a beast. Oh, that was it. That's the end of my ultimate secret driving road. I've never had the road end that quickly. I wasn't going that fast, it's just because I was just having too much fun. Oh, wow. Wow. I'm kind of running out of words here. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Yep, for the first time in history, me, Motormouth Shoebridge, was actually lost for words.
Oh gosh, my eyes are actually just watering a little bit. Who would have thought that a car could create an emotional response like that? What a machine.
As for putting power back into this car's battery, it charges as fast as it accelerates. If you use one of Tesla's superchargers, which are intelligently located on arterial routes around the country, then the Model Y can charge at 250 kilowatts. In English, that's a charging speed equal to 1,800 kilometers per hour. Plus, all of Tesla's superchargers use Ecotricity electricity, which is climate positive. Yep, it's 100% renewable electricity. And because it comes from only wind, hydro and solar, it's really affordable. So switch your home or business over and help turn back the clock on climate change at ecotricity.co.nz. Upgrading to climate positive power not only saves you money and makes a difference on climate change, but it feels really, really good. But despite that positivity, I have some complaints about this fancy American performance car.
Yep, and complaint number one is a common one. This car has no spare tyre, just a pump and a can of goo, which sounds like fun on a Friday night. But when you're on a road trip and you get a flat tyre, as I discovered when I took the EQC 400 for a blast, which was a fantastic machine, but it has no spare tyre either. I got a flat tyre, and what do you know? The can of goo was useless. I ended up putting that car on a flatbed truck and it ruined what was otherwise a lovely experience. Complaint number 2 is that the interior options aren't really wild. You've got black as standard, or an optional extra is a white interior with black trimming. Unfortunately, there is still no coffee, leather, or beige, or burgundy velour. When I come to power, car makers will be forced to offer a burgundy velour option. I'll make a good dictator. And my last complaint is actually thinly veiled praise. The problem is, every time I drive one of these things, I end up wanting to own one because everything's so clean and so futuristic. The infotainment system is a pleasure to use. Everything's integrated, Google Maps and all that stuff, that getting into any other car after this, it just feels outdated, even new cars. And in the case of getting into a combustion vehicle after this, well, they just feel prehistoric. If you get the chance to drive one of these cars, don't put it off. Just be warned though, you will end up wanting one.